In spite of ill health, which she suffered for many years, Kerstina Nielsen Harrison Olsen was one of the principal midwives for more than 30 years, from 1890 to 1914. While traveling in a one-horse shay to relieve the sufferings of hundreds of mothers, she gave her life to the primary children and their Relief Society sisters and her own 13 children. Would you please unveil this one for us, Beth? And would all the Olsen family please stand? Oh, the Harrisons didn't stand? You know who you're related to, don't you? We do.
As my Uncle Melvin used to say, this is just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. This is a great day. I'm very honored to be here today to pay tribute to my great-grandmother, Kerstina Nielsen Harrison Olsen. Kerstina was born in Sweden in 1858. She was 8 years old when her mother died and her father remarried. And she was baptized at the LDS Church at the age of 16. 2 years later, she was on her way to America aboard the SS Idaho. And this is where she had a shipboard romance with a young man by the name of Peter Bankston Harrison. And as was mentioned earlier, Christina's stepmother made attempts to keep her away from Peter on their wagon train trip over and was unsuccessful. But she tried to keep her busy by tending the children on the wagon train. But they were in love and were married on October 20th, 1876 in the Salt Lake City Endowment Center. They first settled in a small farm in Alta, Utah, and then later moved to Sandy, where he cut, polished, and loaded the granite used to build the Salt Lake Temple. They were blessed with 3 children, Otto, William, and Joseph Richard. Then Peter was suddenly stricken with a severe attack of appendicitis and died on the 3rd of November, 1883, after just 7 years of marriage. Now there was another Swedish convert in the ward by the name of Paul Lars Olsen. And he was trying to raise a young daughter, Kerstina, on his own, and they decided to join these 2 fine families. And they were married on the 27th of November, 1884. They were then blessed with 3 children, George, Albert, and Ellen. And in 1890, they received a call by President Wilford Woodruff to settle the Star Valley. And Kerstina was set apart as for the calling of midwife for the Star Valley area by Apostle Joseph F. Smith. They sold their home and their belongings and bought a wagon, team, and supplies to make the journey. Paul and Kerstina and their 7 children left Sandy on the 22nd of May, 1890. And Ellen was about a year old at this time, and Kerstina was also pregnant with my grandfather, Charles. And while fording the deep Salt Lake Creek Canyon, they lost all their food supplies. And they were cold and wet, and Kerstina went into the woods to pray. And as she was returning to camp, she met a man on a white horse, asked if she was Sister Olsen. She said she was. And he says, well, I have something for you. And he handed her a bag of flour. Before she was able to thank him, he rode away. She returned to camp, and they all got on their knees and prayed and gave thanks for the many blessings. After this very difficult journey, they arrived in Afton on the 8th of June, 1890, and my grandpa Charles Afton Olsen was born the following December. They lived on 3rd East over here, in Afton for a short time, and they also built a dugout in the East Afton Canyon. By spring, Great-Grandpa Olson had proved upon the quarter section in Dry Creek, which is now Osmond, just south of Afton. And they started their first home that summer. Over the next few years, Ethel, Lily, and Violet were born. Now, the first primary was organized in 1893 and held in the Dry Creek schoolhouse. Kerstina was chosen as first counselor, a position that she held for 5 years. When the ward was fully organized, she was called to be the Relief Society president. And she held this position for the next 12 years in spite of ill health, and served in that position up until about a year before her death. Kerstina was kept busy in her calling as a midwife. As I mentioned earlier, Grandpa Olson made her a special toboggan called a one-horse shay. And it was built with narrow rudders because of the narrow lanes throughout the valley. And she kept this sleigh filled with straw, hay, and oats. And to keep warm in the winter, she wrapped in a piece and tied quilt and used heated rocks for warmth. In the summer, she used a small cart and was able to harness and drive the horse on her own. She would sometimes be away from home for many days at a time. And one daughter, Lily, nearly always went with her after she was old enough to help. And many times Kerstina would leave Lily with the new mother and the babies to help out. And Lily was completely immune from colds and contagious diseases, which really helped. But Kerstina was there for anyone in need, day or night, no matter the weather. She even took in a little girl named Eva, whose mother died at childbirth, and they raised her until she was 9 years old and her father remarried. She spent her entire life in the service of others. Kerstina had a stroke and died on 29th of October 1914 at the age of 56. She had given birth to 13 children, 3 died at birth, and raised 2 foster children. I have a short poem that was written by Marguerite Burnhope Harris about Kerstina. She came with quiet dignity and grace, a stranger in our midst, but stayed not so. For soon she found a work and came to know a host of people who saw in her face true love and service for the human race. She brought them peace and caused their faith to grow, while always in her eyes that radiant glow that won for within their hearts a place. Whenever the call to duty for her came, she answered promptly, "Here," and faltered not, but hastened to comply, and ever sought to brighten and lend sunshine to life's game. So let us follow in her footsteps, dear, and when our call comes, let us answer, "Here." We're indeed proud of Kerstina's addition to the Afton Hall of Fame, and I want to do a special thanks to Dad. For his hard work and for nominating Kerstina. And I'd like to express our sincere appreciation to Helen Draney and the Afton Heritage Committee who have made this great day possible. Thank you.